The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 5th day of March, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. He's Larry Marshall Jr. and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. 2 days in a row. That's rare for you, my brother.
Yeah, sometimes it just works out like that. And the people want. You have to give what the people want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're tired of seeing me alone. It's just like, where's that Marshall guy and Sanchin Dam? And and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I need somebody to, throw something at. Yeah, it's Tuesday, man. Second day of the week. Good morning. Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Tuesday, Jamal, Larry, and Maya. Well, hey, I like Tuesdays. They're not Mondays, but I like Tuesdays because it's another day closer to the next Monday. The idea.
Think you living to retirement right now?
Was that?
Are you living retirement still, or
Yeah, I'm still retired right now.
Every day is like
yeah,
Thursday Eve for you.
Yeah. It's basically retire. The thing about folks, retirement's expensive. Seriously, retirement's expensive because it's like you either do nothing or do something, and to do something costs money. Yeah. Like it costs money. So you literally just what's the old saying? Netflix and chill and stuff.
Yeah,
like what you do. But I was trying to be retired until April 1st, but I just can't stop working, man. And I finally understand, like my father, like, oh, I ain't doing much today, and then he's going on like 4 jobs, right? Like I get when people, I mean, I guess I could call my father elderly at this point. But when people become elderly will probably be rude. Older, right? Let's say older, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm retired," and they just keep working. I get it, man. I get it. I do. Yeah.
It's entrepreneurship, Jamal.
Yeah,
that's what it comes with.
Yeah, you just keep going and going. You stay busy. But anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Lisa Reed from the Human Rights Commission onto the show. The Daily Play is a remember when. Oh, that's an easy question. I think Larry will get this. So we'll see if anyone in the audience gets it. Well, actually, I've never spoken to him about movies. He may get it. He should get it, but we'll see. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. So we've got to have a conversation, folks. Yeah, we've got to have a conversation. So you all know that it's been said that Bermuda, our tourism product was kind of built on the back of spring break and all that stuff. You've heard the rumors, right? You've heard all of that. So here in South Florida, Florida is big on spring break, And part of the thing about being big on spring break is attracting, well, who are the spring breakers? College students. Well, if you know anything about college students in spring break, there's a lot of what that takes place, drinking and partying and stuff like that. Well, last year in Miami Beach, they actually declared a state of emergency. And I mean, it was a war zone down here. I'm being like, I don't think I'm sensationalizing it, but it was like a war zone. I mean, there were literally people getting gunned down on the streets, just walking on the street, right? It was crazy. That said, and this, I mean, I've been in South Florida. This will be my 6th year. It's not the first time, but that was the first time there was a state of emergency. There's always been crime during spring break, right? But the city of Miami Beach actually responded with an ad, and I'm going to show this ad right here. So everyone, focus on this ad that we're about to play for you. This is the response to spring break this year.
I don't think they can hear them out.
Can't hear it? You heard it, Larry?
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
I
So
know.
let's put up something else. Let's see if this will work. Oh, let's see. Why is it not working? We're pulling a Maya. Yeah, I did that. We're pulling a Maya. Let's make sure it's working. That's the key thing. You want to make sure people can hear it. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Multi-track and multi-track. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Let me know if you did you hear it just now?
I did a little something.
Okay, let's try.
Okay. No, I didn't.
No? We're a bit challenged here. I don't know what's going on, but let's try one more thing. Not sure why it would not be working. So we're gonna try one more thing for you folks. One more thing. Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna download it and then we'll bring it up. We're not doing any of that that stuff that they asked us to do just now. What's that?
No, I don't know. I've never downloaded it. I just play, and if it don't work,
We'll find a way to get this working. Don't worry, folks. But basically, Miami Beach. Well, Maya's going to do it for us, so we'll yeah, no song. But anyway, Miami Beach has put an ad to deter spring breakers from coming, getting drunk, and basically come enjoy the restaurants, come and enjoy, the spa and so on. What they're trying to do is avoid what happened last year and let people know that that kind of behavior is not going to be tolerated. So the question of the morning, in response to that, is how should Bermuda respond to the spring break ad by Miami Beach? But also, do you believe, yes or no? This is a simple yes or no. Do you believe Bermuda should focus on bringing spring breakers back to the island? Do you think that should be a focus? Yes or no?
no.
No? Okay. What are your thoughts, audience? Larry says no. Do you think Bermuda should focus on bringing spring breakers back to the island? Yes or no? Do you believe Bermuda should focus on bringing spring breakers back to the island? Yes or no? Traveling Trotty says yes. Ray Kai says, yeah, spring break should be a thing here. Sean Smith says no. Angeline Butler says no. What are your thoughts? Should Bermuda focus on bringing spring breakers back to the island? Yes or no? Yes or no? What are your thoughts? Yes or no? I think there's a way to make spring break work. Now, if you look up any of the cases in Miami Beach, it was a lot of people from outside of Miami, like on the outskirts in Broward County area, that were coming down and actually committing the crime. So it was not necessarily the spring breakers.
Mhm.
Yes, you did have some spring breakers, doing drugs and doing, some stuff, but it was really like, people that were coming from the outskirts and coming and, doing a lot of the stuff to the spring breakers. So just want to keep that in mind. But Do you believe Bermuda should focus on bringing spring breakers back to the island? Suzanne Ingham says yes. Polly Rich says no. Nicole Hassel says yes, indeed. Diane White says no. I worked at Elbow Beach when they took a horse through the hotel. You gotta admit that's kind of funny. that's kind of funny. A horse through the hotel. Like, where did they got a horse? Where'd they got a horse?
I don't think they didn't look like us, Jamal.
That's your joke of the day. A horse through the hotel. Sherilyn Johnson says yes. We've got a yes from Teresa and Marie. And Suzanne Ingham, I guess she's saying yes, they need to behave themselves. All right, so let's go to the question of the morning. Question of the morning is, how should Bermuda respond to the spring break ad by Miami Beach? How should Bermuda respond? Okay, Maya, let's see. She's got the video. Go ahead.
So is Miami saying that Miami County, I want to say Miami Beach, are they saying that there will be no spring break? We're not doing no parties. No.
Let me play the ad and then you can ask your question.
Okay. All right.
Here's the ad, folks.
Hey, we need to talk.
This isn't working anymore.
And it's not us. It's you. We just want different things.
Our idea of a good time is relaxing on the beach.
Hitting up a spa.
Or checking out a new restaurant.
You just want to get drunk in public and ignore laws.
Do you even remember what happened last March?
That was our breaking point, so we're breaking up with you.
And don't try to apologize and come crawling back. This isn't safe, so we're done.
And just so you know, we're serious.
This March, you can expect things like curfews, bag checks, and restricted beach access.
DUI checkpoints, $100 parking, and strong police enforcement for drug possession and violence.
Whatever it takes, because it's time to move on.
Maybe we can talk when you're done with your spring break phase, but until then.
Hey, man, Miami Beach just really broke up with spring break. And the question of the morning is, how can Bermuda capitalize on this? Now, basically what I saw there is they don't mind spring breakers. They just want a different kind of crowd. They want a crowd that's going to pay $100 to par, a crowd that's going to go to the spa, a crowd that's going to go to restaurants. They're not saying they don't want spring breakers. They're saying they don't want a certain kind of spring breaker. Guess who that sounds like? Bermuda. They don't want certain people. They want other people. So what are your thoughts, audience? How should, did that answer your question, Bert?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Okay. Rekai says Florida can afford to chase tourists away, but we can't. I mean, the brother makes a good point. Bermuda, look, that's a good problem to have for the city of Miami Beach, honestly. Bermuda doesn't have that luxury.
Yeah.
You know? The commercial is created. Well, I'm sure they'd appreciate that. Let's see. Traveling Trotty says Bermuda should maintain flexibility across all possibilities. Well, Bermuda's in a position where they cannot afford to turn anyone away, really. And that sounds unfortunate, right? That sounds unfortunate. But how should Bermuda respond? Should Bermuda focus on targeting these people that want to party? Because these people want to party. They want to get drunk. Did anyone see the ad by, it's a St. Patrick's Day ad going around about Bermuda? It literally is a get drunk party ad.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to Maya, see if she could work her magic before we come on. The St. Patrick's ad, it was an ad that, let me just bring it up. But go ahead, Larry, you was going to say something?
Yeah. No, I was just saying the reason why I think no is a certain type of traveler. I don't think Bermuda's getting right. No, yes, you can put the resources into it to try and attract to get them here, but I think it could be spent, money could be better spent somewhere else. Once you don't get that traveler and you advertise, what type of traveler do you get? You probably get more of the travelers that want that traditional Miami Beach situation. Bermuda's prices are expensive. Again, we don't have a bunch of rooms. They're going to complain. They're going to do this. It's going to it can, I could see a lot of negative coming with it. And will it really boost the economy? I think if we can compare Carnival has a different type of traveler, but they are going to carnivals. They're not gonna say, "Hey, we're coming carnival and spring break." You know what I mean? So I just think let's try something else.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The city of Miami Beach is trying to price certain people out of coming there for spring break. That's basically the $100 to park.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's an example. The hotels are probably going to be crazy. The challenge with that is Airbnb. Now, if I'm an Airbnb person, my price is going to go skyrocket as well because you don't want people messing up your house either, right?
Yeah.
Nicole Hassel says, "Cheesh, all those restrictions. Spring break is to have a great time. People act the fool 24/7." But Nicole, I mean,
Until it goes wrong.
Beach was a war zone last year. I know somebody mentioned a horse at Elbow Beach. This wasn't just damaging property. This was not just, foolery. This was murder. There were literally, I saw some of the videos. I mean, a guy literally just walking in a crowd down the street with his friends, and somebody walking the opposite direction just pulled out a gun and literally murdered him right there on the spot. This was a war zone. This is not me sensationalizing anything. It was bad. They declared a state of emergency. That's how bad it was. And again, to me, it was building up that way just during my time in South Florida. It's been heading that way. Traveling Charlie says, package deal with Bermuda Air. If I'm Bermuda Air CEO and I see that comment, I'm probably saying, do I want these kind of folks on my aircrafts?
If this was a different situation in any other area, if something, a major market said, no, this isn't working for us, and it was such a bad breakup and experience, and then Bermuda went for it, I think we will meet it with heavy criticism, right? With this, I know it's unique because we do need the tourists. I just see it's so much negativity surrounding spring break and what it's become that is it worth the risk? And then there's no guarantee that it's going to work out for us financially.
Well, I mean, and that's the point. I think it's easy to say Bermuda needs all we could get, but business is not about quantity; it's about quality. And why invest in something that's really not going to be, help you make a dollar, right?
Now, if people pay, if people pay, and they stack their bags with oodles and noodles and are going to eat that for a week because they know it's profitable, then Bermuda doesn't make it doesn't serve us.
Yeah, indeed. It's interesting. I think Bermuda needs people. We're obviously, and Sanchez says it all the time. Who are we targeting? It's obvious whoever we're targeting, it's probably not really working out for us the way we'd like. Let's see. Nothing on Instagram. Let me just check Instagram, folks, because I know you all have felt neglected lately. All right, nothing over there. Yes, Angeline Butler says, yes, the St. Patrick's ad is interesting, she said. Okay, let's check the video out. Maya's got it up. Ray Kai, you're actually probably very wrong on this. Having been in that industry, it's like a cab driver. I said to someone last night, people love to blame taxi drivers for not, being out and picking people up in their vehicles. At the end of the day, we love to complain, especially when we don't have any ownership, right? When you own something, you don't want just anybody in your space, no matter how much money you think you're going to make, because you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? As a person who owns multiple businesses, I get if a taxi driver, as a person who got into a cab, drunk as a skunk in Barcelona where I didn't speak the language, and the cab driver kicked me out just in time where I drew up on the side. That's my story. If I'm a cab driver, I own Bermuda Air, I don't just want anybody on it. I've been on many of flights to Florida and Vegas where there's a lot of drunk people. I can guarantee you, Adam Scott does not want a Spirit Airlines experience, nor Frontier. I guarantee you that. He doesn't.
They're selling as a luxury airline, right?
Exactly. But just because he's pivoted to economy doesn't mean he wants every and anybody. Let's go to the St. Patrick's Day ad that was playing on for Bermuda. I mean, that ad is the complete opposite of the Miami spring break one, right?
Yeah, I'm saying, let's get this.
That's the complete up. Now, if you were to send an ad like that to the people who are being, I guess, pushed back against the city of Miami Beach, I probably think we'd have some of those folks coming down, because all that's speaking about is let's get drunk together and party. All right. Sheikha Reyna says Bermuda's drinking age is attractive. Remember those booze cruises for college students in the late 80s and the moped pack racing, all visiting 18 years old, scary drunks. We also need monitoring. I think Charles said earlier something about we need the infrastructure to support them. We need a robust nightlife and organized things to do. Bermuda has a nightlife, doesn't it? You just saw the St. Patrick's Day ad. What you got, Larry?
Sorry, yeah. Sloan Johnson, sorry, as a member of the Earl tourism team who did the spring break thing, I can say we honestly don't have anything to offer them.
I won't disagree with you there. Polly Ritz says, agree, Larry, it could cost us more to fix the mess if that happens. Ebony Souza says, my question would be, did we break up with spring break already, or did they break up with us? Spring break was huge here. Do we remember what the benefits, pitfalls are? It was huge here, but I think Bermuda broke up with it because, again, you saw what someone said. They were bringing horses in the hotels. I mean, they were damaging stuff. It was becoming costly, right? So, Ray Kai makes a good point. If we're being honest, we could easily attract high net worth college kids who are willing to toss that money around. Look, focus on the Ivy Leagues up north, the Northeast schools. I mean, I think that's what was done before. But even those rich kids, I mean, let's be honest, like if they're not responsible for stuff, they have a tendency to ruin things, right? Traveling Trotty says some spring breakers have access to wealth and can afford Bermuda. A lot of them. But that's what Bermuda used to focus on. That's what they used to focus on. Sloan Johnson says we literally had to create experiences and most were overpriced. Do we really have it?
Yeah.
Do we really have anything to offer them? That's what it comes down to. Go through these last few comments. We've got Maya coming up and then Lisa Reed, Human Rights Commission, but a lot of comments. Good conversation. Ray Kai says that revenue runway ain't lasting forever. He's going to have to fill up that airplane one way or another. This is true. This is true. Renee Simmons says, no, I went with my mom who worked at a local guest house. They had a cow in I'm sorry. They had a cow in the pool and beer bottles everywhere. Nowadays, we know it won't be beer alone, but something worse, childish pranks. I shouldn't be laughing at that, by the way. Manuela Jones said, it may further price us out of the market for spring break to put in place the security measures that will be required, to Larry's point. Ray Kai says that commercial is literally 20 times what the BTA has done for Bermuda. He said it. I was thinking it, honestly.
You're on fire this morning.
Commercial by the, who was it? Not the drunk people. The St. Patrick's. Who put that? Who Maya? Who did? Anyway, let's bring Maya.
What was it? Something Bermuda. Belligerentbermuda.com. That was the website.
Oh, Belligerent Bermuda. Oh, okay. Let's bring Maya in before Larry gets in trouble. For the Daily Hour news break. Don't forget, we've got our friend Lisa Reed from the Human Rights Commission coming up. We'll extend the conversation, but this is a good one. Folks, if you've appreciated this discussion, do us a favor. Send it to the Bermuda Tourism. Give us a like, a love. Make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and carry this conversation on. Like, I'll send you that video, or we'll post that video in Miami Beach so you can understand that's how business works, right? When you see someone who you maybe a competitor, believes a competitor doing something, sometimes you have to figure out how can we best respond to this to benefit ourselves. You feel me?
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. MP, did you know that they used to take cows and horses into hotels in Bermuda?
No, I did not know that.
They
I
had
could
like
believe the
parking
horses, but
spots. They had parking spots for in pools.
That's what she said.
parking spots and pools for the horses and cows inside the hotels.
Parking spots. It was like the pool was a parking spot for cows. I'm being silly, Maya.
Okay, because look, I was like, Marshall.
You gotta remember, Friday fun day for her was very tough last week. She was sitting there like, you gotta be delicate. Remember, she is born in like 2007. But anyway, Maya, what are your thoughts on spring break?
Look, I just remember one year when I had friends come down to Bermuda, and I could definitely say that there's big pockets in different countries, like obviously other places where you can attract that young audience who has that money or, the family's money. Because I brought a friend down and she went into stores in Bermuda that I never even thought to go into because of the price range, especially during university time, spending like $400 just on one dress. And I was just like, okay. She bought a lot of things when she came down here. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, your family has money. And it was just interesting to see that, like, who you can attract. And obviously she came down to visit me and, lo and behold, a lot of money was spent.
There are people, but do you think that Bermuda has enough to offer, even based on your friend's experience? Because as Sloan said, I worked with her for a very short time in the oil tourism. And my solution to it, I'll say this before you get into your news, my solution to spring break was to bring sports. Focus on sports tourism, focus on bringing this, collegiate sports teams, because you're filling the numbers during spring break by just focus on a different kind of student. So that was what I thought the solution was. I just don't think we have enough to offer, as Sloan said, in terms of even spas. How many spas are there? Right?
We have quite a bit of spas.
I'm talking top level spas like you're going to see throughout Vegas and Miami.
And do we have enough spas for 300 people?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
At a time. Yeah, no.
Capacity. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting convo. Maya, have you ever been on a spring break trip?
No.
Larry, you ever been on one?
No, track. It was dead bank in the middle of track season.
Okay, while Maya's doing the news, audience, let us know, have you ever been on a spring break trip? If so, to where and when? I went on one, Daytona Beach, back in the day when it was popping BTB there in 2005. I'll leave it at that. No other details to be shared. What you got for us, Maya?
Well, good morning. Good morning. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. And starting out your news this morning, so a firearm and ammunition recovered and someone was also arrested. So this happened shortly after 12:30 a.m. on Monday, March 4th. So yesterday, police officers were on mobile patrol along Park Lane, Pembroke, when they approached a small group of people gathered in the area. Now, upon seeing the officers, a male member of the group ran off and dropped a number of items as he fled. So officers recovered the items, which included a firearm and a quantity of ammunition. The subject was subsequently arrested after he was discovered hiding at a nearby residence. And an investigation to the matter is now underway, and anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Inspector Anika Donawa at 717-2250, or again, speak to an officer whom you already know.
No criticism of the police, but I swear the former commissioner of police, Stephen Corbishley, said there's only a few guns on the streets. But then it's like there's always be another firearm recovered. So I don't know. I swear he said that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I remember hearing that too, that it was just normally passed around or interchanged between different people. But last week I reported 2 firearm incidents, but I don't think there was any recovery though of a gun. But today I'm reporting that one was recovered and an arrest was made.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, in other news, Bermuda mourns the passing of Gombe icon, Mr. Leon Sparky Place. Mr. Place's influence in Bermuda's cultural heritage is immeasurable, and his legacy will forever resonate through generations of Gombes. Minister of Tourism and Culture and Sport, Owen Dow, said the passing of Leon Sparky Place is a profound loss for Bermuda's cultural landscape. His dedication to preserving and innovating the Gombe tradition has left an indelible mark on our heritage. Now, born on October 12, 1946, to Reginald and Mabel Place, Leon Sparky Sparky Place was not only a master of the Gombe arts, but also a mentor, innovator, and a custodian of tradition. His Gombe journey began at the tender age of 10 when he joined the family troupe Places Gombes under the guidance of his father, Squani Place. Over the span of more than 6 decades, Sparky's dedication to the art form was unparalleled, and his contributions were manifold. A tribute Gombe March will take place on Monday, March 4th. So it happened yesterday. So if you saw it, you would have seen it leaving Paris Primary at 6:30 p.m. For Mr. Leon Place.
Yeah, definitely condolences to him and his family. You know, gotta appreciate the Gombes and those who kept the tradition flowing through generations, and may those who are currently heading that movement keep it going in these folks' honor.
Yes, keep the history alive. Meanwhile, the Information Commissioner, Guterres, will be presenting live on Wednesday, March the 6th at 6 p.m. for a discussion called Patty and the People's Budget, Now What? Keeping your government accountable on interactive discussions on the 2024-25 government budget. It will answer questions like, what does this year's budget mean for Bermudians and residents? What government projects are important to you, your family, and community? And what can you do to keep the government accountable and transparent in the decision-making as they allocate public funds? Now, the public is encouraged to tune in and participate to this live discussion, again, happening tomorrow. For more information, you go to ICU YouTube's channel. And yes, it will be moderated by our own Jamal Hartman.
Hi, so my face on the screen. I've never been a part of your news breaks, Maya. Thanks for having me in there. But no, it was a very good conversation last year, and this is, of course, her last year in the position. I believe it's 10 years, right? To me, this is a service to the community. This is the opportunity for the public to really understand. And I gave an example yesterday. I'll say it again. Maya does a lot of reporting on numbers on this show and finances. And yesterday she focused on the consultants, right? Folks, maybe it's apathy, or maybe it's I don't understand it. These conversations are an opportunity for you. Remember, we were talking about how you decide to vote, and someone was like, oh, they come on my doorstep. Believe very little of what you hear on the doorstep. But you have an opportunity because of the Public Access to Information Act, right? Information Act, you have an opportunity to ask more questions. So if you see that there's 40 million on consultants, then Maya broke it down local and overseas. Who are these local consultants? Who are the overseas consultants? What have they delivered? What are the tangibles to this? You can ask as many questions. What this conversation is about is how do you get from point A to B all the way to Z? So please tune in, ask as many questions as possible. And remember one thing that I think we all forget. When David Burt and the government of Bermuda are given another 25 million of your money, let me just emphasize, your money, that money that comes out of your check that you work for, to hotel developers, you should have a say. Find out how they go about doing this. This is your money. It's your country. Remember that. Sorry, Maya.
That's okay. I'm actually excited to actually tune in tomorrow because I have questions about like different petty requests as I'm still going to try to work toward finding out that $300,000 petty request, but that's another story for another day. Now, in other news, maintain your distance. The Bermuda Road Safety Council is pleading the importance of maintaining a safe distance between the vehicle in front of you while driving. The following distance is the term for the distance that you should be behind a vehicle. Do you guys remember what the correct amount of seconds is between the distance?
Nope. I thought it was 2 car lengths.
3 seconds, Maya.
Boom, you got it, Marshall. And yes, 2 car distances is a nice way to look at it as well for those who need to see a visual. But yeah, the correct following distance is 3 seconds in good driving conditions and 5 seconds in bad conditions. So the BTR sends a plea out to the motorcycle riders to ride with care and caution. The prevalence of disregard for the safety while riding is astounding, they say.
I just don't see that in Bermuda.
Yeah, for 3 seconds, that's 3 car lengths.
It should be 2. 2 safe car distances. It should be 3 seconds. Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
3 cars should be 5.
As a bike rider, I detest when it's cars. Cars come right up on me. Like I would be in my mirror, I slow down, I look back, like give me space.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand when you're like this close up to a bike, the other people can't like behind can't see that bike as well, like or know why. So it's like it's dangerous. Anyways,
Yeah.
In other entertainment news, Bermudian actress and Death in Paradise star Genesis Lene has been announced to be joining the cast of Doctor Who. So there's currently no details about who Lene will be playing in the upcoming 14th series, but showrunner Russell T Davies has teased that her role will be very different to the one she played in his 2023 romantic drama series, You and Me.
Okay. Congratulations.
Congrats to her. And then finally, in some sports-related news, as this is the Olympic year, and of course, Women's History Month, so it's a perfect time to actually make this type of news. But according to WBAL-TV, the 2024 Paris Olympics is set to make history this summer by hosting an equal number of male and female athletes, a first in the history of the Games. Women first competed in the modern Olympics in the 1900 Paris Games. More than a century later, Paris is commemorating the progress made in women's sports. And this summer, the marathon route in France pays tribute to the moment in women's history. It passes through remembering the thousands that marched to the palace demanding that women be recognized at the start of the French Revolution. And in an effort for each country to highlight their own women athletes, the International Olympic Committee is also spotlighting gender equality during the opening ceremony by encouraging each country to have one male and one female carry the flag.
Nice.
Cool.
And in your weather report, it's looking generally sunny today. So, Marshall, you can look outside your window to tell me if I'm right, but it's going to be light to moderate winds this evening. And we got a high of 70 degrees. So it's looking like a beautiful day.
You know how they say March comes in like a lion or out like a lamb and whatever? I think it came in like a lamb. So the end of the month, we probably should be expecting some rough weather.
Yeah. What's the days of the year, Larry?
Today is Dissociative Identity Disorder Awareness Day.
What?
Raising Dissociative Identity Disorder Awareness Day. It's a mental health disease, and they're raising understanding and compassion for a condition that brings unique challenges, highlighting the strength and resilience of those affected. And during a time where mental health is critical and we recognize it, you just have to remember, or today is a day that you can remember them, learn up more about it. Google it if you have to, and we'll go from there.
Nice.
But I want to celebrate before we leave. We did ask folks where they go to spring break. Traveling Trotty did say I went to school in Florida. So yup. We've got Freeport, Bahamas, and Disney World. So she did really more innocent. We've got to the Promised Land, Jamaica, Adeline Swan. We've got yes, Daytona Beach. That in the house where you on TV, Miss Johnson. And I want to also say this is a fun one for everybody. Today is Unique Names Day. So before we head out, before Maya leaves, what is the most unique name of someone in your life? The most unique name someone has in your life.
My family has some unique names, but I'm just going to go with my siblings since a lot of people say it's unique, but Pharaoh and Indigo. And then I just got Maya. So
she said, I just got Maya.
It was supposed to be Mayan, but yeah.
What does indigo mean?
Indigo is the color between blue and purple, violet. Indigo, it's a color.
How the hell I'm supposed to know that? I'm the smartest apple on the tree.
Your color in the background of yours is the color of indigo. You should probably know that.
Yeah, it's like purple.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should.
Violet, blues, purple.
All right. What are some unique names? So, Larry, the most unique name somebody close to you?
Mine.
Larry Marshall Jr. Yeah, that's unique.
Burp.
Well, yeah, nickname.
Yeah.
Governments, though, governments. We've got Kathy Ann Pennis as Euro, her grandson, Euro. Interesting.
That's a cute name, actually.
We've got my name or my daughter's name, so Sloan or Ryu. I like, or is it Root?
Boo. But yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to go Street Fighter.
Root. I like that. We've got Zelda Anslin. Zelda Anslin. I like that. What's some unique names? We've got Ray Kai or Rake. He meant Ray Kai, right? And then we've got Halo and Jet. All right, some unique names. Keep them coming, folks. Keep them coming. Maya, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. I know there's some teachers in this place that can say a couple of unique names right now.
Yeah,
Marshall.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you can literally put your social media name as your first name, you know you have a unique name.
Yeah.
Nachika, you know it's unique. What does your name mean? What does Nachika mean? Where did it come from? All right, let's keep it going. We've got our friend Lisa Reed coming up for a conversation about the Human Rights Commission, folks. Maya, we'll see you later.
See you later.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose Peoples, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it Peoples. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. Peoples, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. He's Larry Marshall Jr. I am Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, MediWells, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. A few more unique names. We've got, Nachika is Native American. Okay, I like that. All right, let's give a warm TDH welcome to our guest for the day. We've got Lisa Reed, returning from the Human Rights Commission. Can you hear the cheering? Can you hear the audience? Okay, just making sure. We have some mishaps sometimes where, well, where's the audience to? And okay, that was on me. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on again, Jamal.
No problem. Thanks for coming. So real quickly, before we get into it, do you have anyone close to you with like a very unique name?
Sitting right next to me is my near 2-year-old pup, Ginger Rose.
Oh, okay, Ginger. All right. And you know what? Ginger seems so well behaved because Ginger's never barked or anything when you've been on.
No.
Yeah, they're
She's
not
a good
all
girl.
the same. They're not all built the same. Trust me. We have a Bella when I'm in Bermuda, and she doesn't really respect the mic when she hears something wants to respond to. But thank you, Lisa, for doing this and trusting this platform to have these conversations about what it is that your office does and how it's impacting Bermuda. But just remind people, for those who don't know, what the role and purpose of the Human Rights Commission is.
So I am thrilled to be here today and to talk to you and your listeners about the work of the Human Rights Commission and to let them know about the upcoming Human Rights Conference, which will take place on Thursday, March 21st from 9 until 4:30 at Pier 6. So firstly, Jamal, as you know, the Human Rights Commission is Bermuda's national human rights institution, which means that at the national level, it has a legal mandate to protect and promote human rights. The Commission is one of the independent non-ministry offices and sits alongside other independent offices such as the Information Commissioner and the Office of the Privacy Commission and the Ombudsman. And the vision of the Commission is a Bermuda that honors human rights for all, and our mission is to protect and promote human rights through education, collaboration, advocacy, and enforcement. And the Human Rights Act was enacted in 1981, and the Human Rights Commission was established to administer the act in 1982.
And I want to go back before we, sorry, my apologies, before we get into the next question, is we saw a comment earlier by someone that says, I regularly tweet that human rights do not exist. So can you explain what are human rights and what can people do if they feel they've been discriminated against?
Thanks for that question. So first of all, human rights are the basic rights and freedoms that belong to every person because they are a human being. They are not granted by any state. These are universal rights, and they're inherent to us all, regardless of nationality, sex, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, language, or any other protected characteristic. They range from the most fundamental, the right to life, to those that make life worth living, such as the rights to food, education, work, health, and liberty. We are all born with the right to a life of equality, dignity, and respect. And these principles are shared across diverse cultures, religions, and philosophies. In Bermuda, the Human Rights Act prohibits discrimination based on a set of protected characteristics. For example, one's race, disability, sex or sexual orientation, their religion, or family status in situations where a person may be employed or seeking employment, renting or looking to rent, or seeking to obtain goods or services. And the Human Rights Commission is a free public resource. People can call, email, or visit our office if they think they may have experienced discrimination or discriminatory harassment. And it's important to emphasize that we should not take human rights for granted. The rights and freedoms we enjoy today are the result of regular people like you and me fighting to ensure that these rights are realized and a part of people's lived experience in Bermuda and beyond. Promoting and protecting human rights must never cease because, as we have seen here and in many parts of the world, human rights can be violated, ignored, and even rolled back. This is why I am so excited to be able to share about our upcoming conference.
All right. So you mentioned the conference the second time. So let's talk about it. Tell us about the conference.
Sure. So Larry, thank you for that question. The theme of the conference is, what can I do? What can we do? It is a day-long event, and it is more than a conference. It's really an opportunity for each attendee to contribute to creating a society that welcomes and includes everyone. As you know, Larry, we all have an opportunity to shape human rights in Bermuda, to ensure that everyone has a voice and that that human rights in Bermuda continue to be protected and evolve, and to accommodate and reflect the changes in our society. Everyone who lives in Bermuda, everyone who lives on our shores, everyone who works in Bermuda should understand their rights and know what to do if their rights have been violated. The conference invites us to come together and think about what is working, gives us the opportunity to celebrate our successes and to identify what we need more of individually and collectively to protect and promote human rights. It is an opportunity to remind people why human rights are essential to each person living and working on our island.
Mm-hmm. So what can attendees expect at the Human Rights Conference, and how can they register?
Thank you, Larry. This is an open invitation to everyone who wants to make a positive difference. Whether you are a seasoned advocate or beginning your journey toward understanding human rights, everyone's presence is invaluable. We believe each person has a role to play in building a society that respects, honors, and advocates for human rights. So in terms of the organization of the day, we have assembled an outstanding panel and moderator to address human rights issues. The moderator is Chen Foley, and panelists include Arlene Brock, the current executive director of the Adult Education School and former ombudsman for Bermuda, Letitia Lister-Burgess, executive director of the Employee Assistance Program, EAP, Orion Mapp, attorney for the Human Rights Commission, Dr. Amanda Marshall, psychologist and disability rights advocate, and the Honorable Justice Juan Wolf, puisne judge of the Supreme Court. And we're really excited about the composition of this outstanding panel. Further, there are many individuals and organizations who tirelessly support different rights-based issues in Bermuda. During the conference, we're going to spotlight 2 examples of organizations who have come together to collectively advocate for the protection and promotion of human rights in Bermuda. And those 2 organizations are Social Justice Bermuda and Bermuda is Love. So how can people register? They can register for the conference, which is on March 21st at Pier 6, Front Street, Hamilton, by visiting our website, humanrights.bm. And you will find information about the conference there. And as well, people tuned in can feel free to call our office at 295-5859. There is a registration form on the website and details of what people can expect during the day in terms of the layout of the day. And on the day of the conference, registration will start at 8:30 a.m. with a continental breakfast being available. And we will formally start everything at 9:30. So your listeners are encouraged to register ahead of time. And on the day of, we will start to receive guests at 8:30.
All righty. Audience, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. I have a question too as I was taking notes, because I think in Bermuda in particular, there's a lot of space between government and HRC. But and as far as the role of the Human Rights Commission, does the Human Rights Commission just support to maintain whatever the law is, or do they actually recommend and fight for the change in laws?
That's a great question. So absolutely. So first of all, to your point about the distinction between government and the Human Rights Commission, the Commission is a non-ministry office. We receive funding from the legislature, which we use to deliver our programs. And one of the aspects of our work is to monitor legislation as it relates to human rights, and of course to make recommendations on the advancement of protections within our own legislation, which is the Human Rights Act. And so we do make recommendations to the government on policies to expand protections or to address areas of inadequacies. And so that is an ongoing basis. And so, yes, we absolutely make recommendations on how to advance, human rights. I think it's also important to state that there may be instances where our recommendations may not be in the interest of the government. However, our interest is in ensuring, let me reframe that. Our interest is ensuring the protection and promotion of human rights. Mm-hmm. And there may be instances where we may come from different angles. Mm-hmm. However, the commission will stand firm on its recommendations. And there are instances, as you know, where we have advocated for protections such as age. We've been advocating for the advancement of protection for age in the area of employment. So age is currently protected within the Act in all other areas except for age. And so that is one area that has been advocated for many years. And the government is actively considering how to adopt that as a consideration into the legislation. So that is an example of persistent advocacy. Mm-hmm. Does make a difference.
All righty. Another question from the audience. Roselda Severance asking, what is the most reported human rights infringement in Bermuda?
So in terms of complaints, the vast majority of complaints are in the area of employment. And the main complaints are discrimination based on disability, race, and sexual harassment.
Interesting. I just feel as a Black man, it's so hard to prove race, but I'm no expert in this. I feel like race, all but one job I've had, it's been some form of racial discrimination, not necessarily towards me, but it seems so hard to prove. What steps should a person take, like other than documenting everything? Is there a way to, is there a recommendation that your office would make if someone feels they're being discriminated against to build a case?
You actually said it, documenting. Mm-hmm. Documenting. And so, for instance, the second that something feels odd, mm-hmm. we recognize it's almost like within our gut, we just feel something just doesn't feel right. And in those instances, just start to write things down. Document how someone has said something, they may have made a comment that has a discriminatory element to it, write it down. And over a period of time, that information helps to present a story. It prevents a story of one's experience. And that is the information that you should bring to the Human Rights Commission. If you feel that you've been discriminated against on any of the grounds protected within the Act, contact us. Come to our office. We have an intakes officer who receives intakes every day. You can call us at 295-5859. You can walk into our offices. We are located at 32 Victoria Street, Milner Place, in Hamilton. And of course, you can visit our website at humanrights.pm. So we absolutely encourage people, if you feel that you have been treated in a discriminatory fashion, contact us. The other thing that we provide is a service in terms of referrals. So even while we are considering an intake, we may also make referrals to other agencies. So for instance, if someone is making a complaint about an experience in the realm of employment, we may also refer them to the Department of Workforce Development. We might refer them to the Ombudsman's Office. We might refer them to the Women's Resource Center. So there are other avenues of assistance that can be provided whilst we are considering whether our legislation takes jurisdiction over a matter.
All right. Real quickly, a few questions, and I'll just ask them all in one. Rekai is saying it's marriage a human right, and then Malachi Troy is parenthood part of human rights. I'm asking about the rights of the child to have access to their parents and the right for parents to have access to the children. But I guess with those questions in particular, can you just restate what the protected classes are in Bermuda?
Sure. So race, place of origin, national origins, disability, sex, sexual orientation, marital status, protection if one is pregnant or to become pregnant, and criminal conviction.
It's interesting because I remember getting in an argument, me in an argument on social media is just not normal, but it was an argument one day, and it was over legal discrimination. And the gentleman just couldn't understand how we can legally discriminate, like what classified as it. And when you mentioned criminal just now, like convictions, can you help the audience understand what legal discrimination is? And I know we probably talked about it before, but the example I like to give is probably a bit extreme, so I'll go lower. If someone's been convicted of theft, would a company, if they're looking for a job as a cashier where they're dealing with money, would that company have the right to say, no, we're not hiring you based on your conviction here, but we might have a space in the shelf area? Would that be an example of it?
Potentially, that's correct. That's a great example. And so it is illegal if someone is to apply. So using your scenario, if someone were to not be hired, so in the example that you're using, to organize in stock taking, that it could be. So if the person, let's say for instance, the person, just further to your example, the person was a teller and they stole from a bank, and they were to apply for another job at a bank, it would seem odd that that person could not be considered for security or in the back office or some administrative role, but maybe being around monies, because of the theft, that conviction, it would seem odd that someone should not be able to secure a job in another area. So yes, it is being mindful that just because someone has a criminal conviction does not disqualify them from employment, period. And I think that's such a great example that you share, because we know as Bermuda is a small community, we have to ensure that we are considering people based on what they're bringing to the table. So looking at their application and their experiences and so on and so forth. So yes, that is an example of where we must ensure that discriminatory treatment does not occur at the screening stage of employment.
Bermuda can be very unforgiving in that respect.
Sorry, quick clarification I'm trying to get is, but certain opportunities will be excluded from those individuals if it's related to the area that they're applying to.
Exactly.
Okay.
So for instance, if someone were a convicted pedophile, they may not be qualified to be a daycare worker.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean that they can't, if they're off-site, that doesn't mean that they can't do the accounting for the company.
Just can't bear children.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quickly, back to the conference. Where can people get more information, and any final thoughts on what you want people to remember about today's conversation?
So most importantly, we have space for 100 people at the conference. So we encourage everyone who is interested to sign up today. The commission is committed to hosting inclusive and accessible events that enable all individuals to engage fully. So where there are requests for accommodation or for inquiries about accessibility, please contact us at info@humanrights.bm, phone us at 295-5859, or visit our offices at Milner Place, 32 Victoria Street, across from Sears. Human rights are not words on a page. They are the foundation of a just and inclusive society. So we encourage everyone to come together to explore, learn, and take steps toward creating a world where everyone's rights are acknowledged and celebrated. We ask that you mark your calendars, spread the word, and join us on March 21st from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for a day of learning, sharing, and embracing the power of your voice. And I just want to thank everyone who has been involved in organizing the conference, and a special shout out to my team at the Human Rights Commission and everyone who has said yes when asked to participate. And we look forward to an outstanding conference on March 21st at Pier 6.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Appreciate you all, and definitely wish you the best at the conference, and hope to see you again soon for another conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jamal. Thank you, Larry.
All right, Lisa Reed, folks, from the Human Rights Commission. If you appreciated that conversation, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take a quick break, come back to the Daily Play, and wrap today's conversation up. Stick with us.
Welcome to the New Bulk Store, Lindo's next. Anyplace else.
Welcome back. Thanks again to Lisa Reed from the Human Rights Commission. Folks, if you appreciated today's conversation and guest and news break and everything we did, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share that with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Alrighty. it is thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a daily basis. I'm not sure if I said that already, but it is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Larry, are you ready?
Okay.
All righty. Audience, let's see. Leonardo DiCaprio acted in what hit film alongside Kate Winslet in 1997?
Titanic.
All right.
And I had Pirates of the Caribbean in my head the whole time, and I couldn't get it until,
Oh, you got it. We're going to enter Karen into the draw with Adeline, who got it yesterday. So, yeah. And yeah, he got it, folks. I tried. Yeah. You know what?
Hey, you're trying a trick shot. Something else.
Okay, here we go. Before it was renamed for President Herbert Hoover in 1947, what was the original name of the Hoover Dam?
Yeah, you got me there.
It was the Boulder Dam.
Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
Colorado, yeah. All right, we've got a birthday in the audience. We said, oh, anniversary. Happy 54th birth anniversary to me. Oh, happy birthday to you, Auntie Karen. You know what that means. You know what that means. Oh, no, she wants something more. Okay. Yeah, we got all kinds of birthday music for you, Auntie Karen. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, happy birthday. Karen is probably happy that I used to have Karen working on her birthday every year for Sports Day. So yeah, remember those days.
One of those companies. Wish and Maddox a happy birthday. Is that our Maddox? He had a birthday.
Yes, his birthday was yesterday.
Oh, and he all right.
I blame his mama.
I blame his mama too. No. He needs something cooler. We need a hip hop one from Mad Dog.
Yeah, we need something different.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Mad Dog. And yeah, we're gonna blame his mama. I thought it was like March 8th. I didn't know it was like the beginning, but anyway, happy birthday to him. Hopefully he had a great day at school. Birthdays, man. All right, let's jump into wrapping this show up. Final thoughts on today's discussion, spring break, and then the conversation on human rights.
Maybe I could be proven wrong, and I hope I would be if we, decide to go after the spring breakers. But I think in this day and age, we just probably can focus our efforts somewhere else that can kind of be more favorable to get a benefit for us, especially financially. Human Rights Commission, the conference is coming up. If you're available to go and that's something you're interested in, I think we should go. It's one of those things that we take for granted, but it's always good to know. I appreciate that she noted that sometimes the recommendations aren't always on the same page with the government, but they stick to their recommendations. So that was interesting for me.
Yeah. As far as spring break, look, it's easy to suggest that Bermuda needs everyone it can get, but you still need to have a target, right? And we need to be careful what we ask for because I can guarantee you don't want the problems that Miami Beach has or had, which is why they released an ad like that. So we must, as desperate as we are, we must not be desperate, if that makes sense. As far as the human rights, I think for the most part, understanding what the protected classes are is of most importance. And if we don't understand what the protected classes are, then we'd probably have a trouble with understanding what human rights mean in a governmental or legislative manner, right? So I would encourage people to learn as much as they can. As I said, I think I've witnessed discrimination, experienced it also in almost all of my workspaces. I just didn't have the interest or time to document nor did I care enough because I knew I was not going to be there long enough. That may be selfish because it could have helped the next person. But after conscription, I pretty much am very intentional about how I spend my time, energy, and I'm just not interested in that kind of stress for a job. Larry, you've got some daily inspiration for us?
I do. And this is from Nelson Mandela. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity.
Talking to all of you. Talking to all of you who were denying us rights for years. Anyway, folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical Windows, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Larry Marshall Jr. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace. I said peace.